Hey, I'm Jason, welcome to Cattywampus Acres, and in this video I'm going to show you how we turned a stack of old windows into this greenhouse that you see behind me. You see all these windows? These windows hopefully in a few short weeks or less are going to be a greenhouse. We've needed a greenhouse for a while, and we need to start some seeds and get some stuff going for our spring garden. And so we've gotten these. They cost us a total of $0, and so that's good. We are going to get going on this exciting project of a window greenhouse. And Lauren has thankfully done the numbers on here, and she's actually taken some time and planned out how we're going to do this. She's measured the windows, put the measurements on each window, and then she's also made some plans of how these are going to fit and how big a space we're going to need. If this is something you guys are going to get into, it's definitely you're definitely going to want to plan it out a little bit instead of just all willy-nilly throwing your windows together.
All right, so we have over almost 25 windows. And so what I did the other day was I took each window and I measured it from edge to edge, and each one you'll see is marked with the dimensions of it. I then organized those in piles based on which ones are the same. And then my type A took over and I went and made plans. So each square, this is all to scale. So I measured a scale and then made each one of these plans and made a puzzle and did the sides.
Our plan is a lean-to style greenhouse. And when I say that, I mean we're just gonna have one slope to the roof. And I just think that's gonna be easiest, and it's gonna be the easiest on purchasing materials and everything else, and it just makes the most sense. We are planning on the roof being sloped and on one full side of the greenhouse being all windows, and so there is going to be just nice blazing sun all day, every day on that. And if we need to, we're going to have some of the windows be adjustable so we can open them and vent if we need to. And then looking like we're going to be somewhere about 8 foot long by somewhere around 7-ish feet wide. We are going to have to account for the 1.5 inches between each one for the 2x4s, and it looks like it's going to be about 7 feet on one side and probably about 8 or just a little bit over 8 on the other side. So we need to go to the store. For the roof, we're also going to use the clear plastic or PVC or whatever they are, the clear plastic panels, and that's what we're going to use as our roof, and hopefully let a ton of sun in. And we're also I think Lauren's planning on painting it white, so that'll be a process too. So please come along with us as we do this. Hopefully this is something that is exciting to you like it is to us, and if you garden or anything, you know how important it is to be able to start your own seeds. And we've direct sowed for a while, but we want to get into starting our own seeds just so we have a stronger plant that we can start right early in the beginning of the year, because we got a pretty long growing season here. So with that, we're going to go outside, plan it out, and then we'll have to hit the store and pick out some stuff so we can get going on this. Hey, if you guys are liking this video, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification so you can be up to date with everything we're doing here on the farm. Also, if you like the video, hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you have any suggestions or anything you think might help us, or any questions you may have. So let's go. All right, as you can see, we are back. We went to the old Home Depot and picked us up a bunch of 2x4s so we can get started. What we'd like to do is build the walls inside our workshop. Not that it's much warmer, but ultimately it's dark and we have light in there. So, hey, that's better, isn't it? Now we're in the shop where we have much more light. You can see it's filthy, but this is where we're going to start building the walls to this greenhouse. And change of plans over dinner, Lauren also said she wants to make it green instead of white, because she just said it's a greenhouse, so why would you make a greenhouse white? Huh, makes sense. Sounds about right. So let's get going and see how we can see if we can get one of these walls put together tonight. One thing I wanted to show you guys that I did run into is the attachment of the screws to the windows and how that worked. It's just one of those things that I should have thought of before, but had to sort of go with it as we went, if that makes sense. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so let me explain what I'm talking about. So starting with the top window, I can put that in. I can screw through the side, screw into the side, works just fine. I can put this board in, screw into the bottom, still works great. Then we run into the conundrum of how do we attach this window since I'm blocking. So what I did is I just toe screwed here and here, and then that had a little bit more space down here, and I was able to go through the top of the window. So I was able to work my way down, but toe screwing and like sort of making your way through is the best way to do it, is that I can figure. It's all going to depend on, if you're doing this at home, it's all going to depend on what kind of windows you got and how big they are and what kind of setup. I think this is still going to work just fine, but right, like I said, sometimes you don't think of the little things and you have to work around with solutions as you go. Show you everything. I figured it'd be boring. So that brings us to, we finished the first wall, and as you can see, it's pretty big. So this is going to be one of the sides. We have already started working on the other side, and so this one turned out pretty good. So we will keep going, and we've also, we believe we've changed the location of where we're going to put it. So we'll just get right back into working on it. This is not the slowest process, but it's also not an extremely quick process, but really nice, sturdy wall. So we will get right back into working on what we were working on. Wall number 2 started. This one's gonna be like 8 feet tall. So let's get right into it. I cannot say enough about how good these screws are. I'm using a 3 1/4 inch for a lot of these, so these will make it through anything. No pre-drilling, nothing like that. Okay, quick cinematic time-lapse update. So what, I wanted to point out a couple things. we have this, we're building this on the ground, and you may be asking yourself, why are you building it on the ground by sections? They are extremely heavy, so something to keep in mind. But if we build it on a flat concrete surface like this, it's going to end up being very flush, and probably couldn't see in the other wall, but it's like almost like perfectly flat, and that's the benefit of building things on a concrete floor that's already been leveled. So out here the girls are taking some pallets apart, and they are doing that because we only have enough windows for, this is the other side wall, and so we only have enough windows to do 6 up on the top. And so what we're going to do is, since this won't be the main sun side, the bottom we're going to put some pallet wood planks along the bottom to keep that, cover up that gap basically. And probably, not 100% sure, probably end up insulating that side. We'll decide that at a later time, but so that's what the girls are doing, and Ellery's wearing her helmet for safety. Because you don't ever want to catch a hammer to the head. That's a bad idea. Okay everybody, we're done with wall 2, and what we've decided to do is, since we had the windows fit, but only the top 6 in the way that we were laying out the windows that we had, to avoid buying more windows, and since this is going to be the not as sunny side, if that makes sense, because of that reason, we took a bunch of pallets and covered the bottom, and we'll probably insulate or do something on the inside. But as you can see, I'm 6'3" and it's a big wall, and so since we're doing a lean-to style greenhouse, what the plan is the roof is going to be on this side and slope down to the first wall that we built. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense to everybody. So we've now completed the 2 sides. Now we just need to work on the front and the back. It's going to be a pretty big greenhouse. It's pretty tall, so we'll be able to probably hang some stuff in there or put some pretty high shelves in there. So we're excited to see where it's going to turn out. I'll show you on the next one where we've decided to move it to, because we have to do some rearranging in order to put it where we want to put it now. So now we're working on the back and the front walls of the greenhouse, and we're just getting going on the back wall. So let's get into it. Okay, I'm gonna show you something. Okay, so we're finishing up the back wall. We got all the windows in, and Lauren has cut a bunch of boards over here, which she is going to, we're planning on putting down on this side down here. So one thing I wanted to bring up, that if you guys are gonna do this yourself, obviously the window figuring takes a bit depending on what size windows you have. But another thing is these crazy screw angles that we're having to hit, and I'll show you like that one there, or a lot of these we're having to go like this. We're having to go right up in the corner, and it's pretty close to the glass. I think we only got one little tiny crack on one of the pieces of glass out of all of them so far. So just remember when you're building these, and to save yourself the trouble of possibly having to, you know, crack a bunch of windows and replace them on things that are supposed to be free, just remember that just be careful when you're on the glass, but you will have to hit a bunch of goofy angles while you're doing it. So we're going to finish this up, and we'll flip it over, put these on, and then we'll be done with the third wall, the back wall. This is the back wall, right?
This is the back wall.
All right. Hopefully we haven't bored you with the little here's and there's. I plan on time-lapsing a lot of the building that we're doing, but I don't think any of you want to sit through just hours of us screwing boards together. So what I've been trying to do is hit our little, the things we found along the way to keep up with what we're doing, and so if this is something you want to do yourself, you can do it. So where we're at now is this is the back wall. So we have finished wall 3 of window greenhouse. So our antique, what are we calling it? Antique window, or vintage window, or what are we calling the greenhouse? Is it
The greenhouse, the window greenhouse, window pane greenhouse.
This is wall 3 and the back wall of window greenhouse. This is going to be the cattywampus window greenhouse. Where we're at so far is like the second wall. We did pallet wood along the bottom here, and what we'll figure out once we get it all together, if we're going to insulate, if we're just going to put a panel on the back there, we'll decide what we're going to do, because I have a feeling in Georgia this is going to be pretty hot. So as you can see, I'm about 6'3", so this is a big wall. The part that's not windows only goes about 2.5 feet. What would you measure?
This was 32, I believe.
So 30, so just shy of 3 feet. We'll move this outside next to the other two. I just want to catch you guys up to date outside where we're going to put the greenhouse. We're going to put the greenhouse right between, hopefully you can see it, we have 2 orange sticks. The front of the greenhouse is going to go where Lauren is standing. So that we had originally wanted to put it back there behind the garden, but after talking and stuff, we've decided we're going to put it here at the beginning of our orchard, where the orchard is starting, and we're going to put the orchard trees around it. I think we've done a lot of planning, and I think this is going to be best. Our south for us is about this way, so we're going to have the roof and the one solid wall of windows that are going to be, those 2 walls are going to be all clear. The only thing I've read a little bit about greenhouses is when you make them out of glass, you're at risk of burning the plants. So it's something we're considering. We will see. I think during summer, I don't know what we'll actually need to use it for. We're going to work this pile down. This shouldn't take us too long. And what we're going to do is I'm going to put the walls into place and just drive screws down onto a flat surface. We've come to the conclusion that we're going to do landscape fabric and pavers, just the cheapo pavers underneath where the greenhouse is going to be. So we will level those and then do the greenhouse on top of them. And the nice thing is our door to our greenhouse will go right out to our driveway, so as we walk out of the house we can go right in the greenhouse, come out of the greenhouse and go right over to the enclosed garden, or what'll be our future garden area right behind me back here. So that's where we're at. These are the 3 walls. We have the south wall, the other side wall, and then the back wall. So now the only thing we have left to do is the front wall. So let me show you what we found today at an antique and whatever junk store. We have found this door, which is pretty much exactly what we were looking for. So this is a 15 pane window. This is a 15 pane door, and so I think this is going to be perfect for what we need. It's about 6'6", so that'll be good. So what we need to do next is we are going to start framing out and laying out the plan for, this is going to be the front of the greenhouse. So another thing I want to share with you guys before I forget is that we paid 50 bucks for this door, 5 bucks for these 2 windows we got today, but for the rest of the windows we paid $0. And we're up to about 100 bucks-ish for screws, and we're using SPAC screws, which are a little higher end. I love to use them because there's no pre-drilling and I'm lazy when I'm building things. And then also we are using treated lumber. So between the treated lumber, the screws, there's about 100 bucks, 50 bucks, 10 bucks. So you're talking 160 bucks into this greenhouse so far. and we're gonna have to do the roof. The roof panels cost a little bit, but ultimately you are not getting a greenhouse that's gonna be as solid as this one and as big as this one to accomplish the angle, and in all honesty, this thing's gonna look pretty cool. I have cleared out the area where the greenhouse is going, and as you can see, I've purchased a bunch of these 1x1 or 12-inch by 12-inch just plain old pavers. They were like $1.50, $1.60 a piece. We are going to go ahead and set these pavers. If I need to clear out a little bit more area, I will, but ultimately these are going to be the foundation of our greenhouse. We're moving walls. Hey everybody, my card filled up, and so this is, let me catch you up to speed where we're at. Can you see behind me? Well, we've put 3 walls together and they are standing up just great, and we are finishing up the last wall. So let me take you inside and show you what we got. All right, this is where we're at. As you can see, Ellery, go ahead and stand in there. So just so you can see a little scale, this is Ellery standing in. These walls are huge, so hopefully this will work out pretty good for us doing all of our seed starts. So this is the wall the front wall that we're working on. Big old space in the middle is the door. This is the door we bought yesterday for 50 bucks. 15 pane door for 50 bucks. So I think that's a pretty good deal. And then these two, we didn't have these two prior. These two were $5 a piece. So we're gonna put a piece of tin in this space here and these boards here, and what I think Lauren's gonna write something on there, scripture or some kind of phrase there, and on the inside it'll be a cubby for setting things on, and we will decide what we'll do with the other open spaces. So yeah, this is where we're at. We'll let me screw this tin down and we'll be ready to move her out and screw them all together. Okay, so now And that's it. We have 4 walls to our greenhouse. So let me show you my ideas for the rest of the greenhouse. As you can see, we have a high side and a low side. And to explain that, this is going to be a lean-to style roof because it's the easiest and cheapest and requires no roof cap. And so this is just, let me take you up high, this is just shy of 8 feet, so we'll have a couple inches on either end of overhang. And then inside here, what our intentions are is to fill this area with probably gravel. Yeah, we'll get some cheap gravel that's nice and pack in here. And then, so as you can see, all I did for, if this is something you're planning on doing, all I did is I took these huge, these number 10 3-inch spac screws and attached here. I went in at different places and did that all the way around. And this will be good to hold us up for now. And then when I add the roof rafters from here down to here, I believe that will give us more than enough stability. The only spot I got to work on a little bit is down here. It's a little bit above, which you may not be able to tell, but it's a little bit raised up. So what I'm going to do is add a little bit more material under there so we're nice and level. But all in all, this is our 4 walls to our greenhouse. I think it's all looking pretty good. We got a space for our door and we got to do the roof, but it's coming along. Hey, it's starting to rain. It's starting to rain, so I just wanted to get you up to date before my camera gets soaked on what progress I've made in the greenhouse. Okay, so let me show you what I'm doing with the rafters. So you can see these rafters. I'm going to put supports. I'm going to put supports in the rafters up here, and so basically in between the top and the bottom. And I know you're already thinking to yourself, why did he put the 2x4s that way? They'll sag. That's why I'm putting the support there. And to be honest with you, let me show you. The reason I'm doing the rafters like this is I mean, it made sense when I was doing it at the time, and it didn't require me to do any bird's mouths or anything like that. But I just think they look cool, and we will be able to hang stuff. We're going to be able to hang stuff up on the rafters, which I think is pretty neat. And I don't know, I just think it gives it a cool feel in here. And so we'll see how much I can get done. We're supposed to get some rain for the next couple days, but I just wanted to show you the progress. So here's the door. Here's the door to the greenhouse. And it's just got, I have it on a spring hinge here, as you can see, and I'll show you up close what I did. And these are, I think these are gate hinges, I don't remember specifically, but they're just spring hinges. And then I did a on the inside of the door all the way around, I did a stop so the door wouldn't swing past. This is that good deal on the door we had. And this handle we just had laying around, I took a piece of oak, which we'll paint just to cover up the old door handle. Yeah, so it works pretty good. So this is where we're at so far. Show you the sides of it. Pretty neat, huh? I think it's going to work out perfectly for our purposes. Obviously we have to paint it and stuff still. I'll have to tape off. We'll have to pressure wash it and tape off all the parts before we do it. Okay, I never use nails. Okay, I never use nails, but I'm going to use these large head roofing nails for the top part here. I've decided that I'm only going to put the vent on the one side at the top, and this is, I'm just going to close off with some pieces of pallet. So let me get this done really quick. So this is where we're at. I finished that top section there with all the pallet wood, worked out well, had plenty, and just chopped off the top. This is the front. Take you up, let you see the rafters. That's the rafters the way I decided to do them. Like I said, I think they would be very secure, and I think they look really cool. Lauren's putting the door back on after we painted. Got the exterior painted. Hadley started painting the inside of the windows. And then this is where we're at on the roof. Let me take you inside and show you. Check it out. This is inside the greenhouse. Got all the panels on. And what I can honestly say, this is the most expensive part of the build was these roof panels here. It wasn't overly hard. It was actually probably one of the easiest parts to do, but it was definitely more expensive. These are 8-foot sheets and they're $22 a piece, so that's pretty pricey. But let me show you too what we're planning on doing. Lauren's parents had given us these shelves that they had taken out of their bedroom. We're gonna use these shelves over here, and we're gonna run them along so we can put the plants over there and they can get plenty of sun on these cold days. So we'll give that a go and see how that works. So here's what we did with the closet shelves. We flipped them upside down and mounted them like they would be just upside down version of what they would be in a closet. And as you can see, we have Lauren put some pots in here, and this is our intentions for how we want to do this. Hopefully it'll work. I mean, it's all trial and error. I mean, if we find that there's areas that are hotter or cooler or whatever, we'll have to work around it. But so yeah, this is the way we're gonna do it. We're gonna do shelf here, and then definitely one over on the other side. So right now we just went and got a bunch of stuff from the old Home Depot, and we got gravel for the floors and stuff to do some shelving and such around here. So we're gonna get going on this and hopefully we can get this done. Oh, and I forgot to mention, you see our ferns here? I got some little metal shelf bracket things and made them into sort of like a corbel, and that we can hang, attach them to the side of the greenhouse. It not only supports the roof, but we can also hang plants from here. So I thought that was a pretty neat touch. So here's the automatic vent opener, and this is the vent. It's just a piece of plywood we're going to use to open and shut to cool the greenhouse off when it's too hot. For right now, we're only going to have one vent. If we determine that in summer it's just getting scorching hot in there, I'll work on something on the other side of the greenhouse. This is the window opener I purchased on Amazon. It was like 30 bucks. Can't remember the brand. But ultimately, a lot of the window openers, the heat tube, whatever you want to call it, the temperature control tube, is up here. This one, it's down here. So when I tried to do it the way, like where it's like this, it did not work. Ever feel like you're being watched? So this is one of those things where I've committed to my stupid decision already, so I'm just gonna do it. So it's don't get this one. Please don't get this one. It is terrible to try and find out a mounting location for this. It sucks. Well, that's it. It's the best we can do for now. What we're doing in here is we've insulated put plastic on the back, put insulation in the middle, and then plastic on the other side of the insulation to keep it from getting covered with moisture, and hopefully. And now we're going to attach some boards. These are just your typical dog-eared fence pickets, and they basically just cut the dog ears off and cut them to the size we needed. So, and we're going to go all the way around here to keep it nice and toasty in here. Check it out. All right, time for shelves. Due to camera issues, I realized while I was editing this video that I never got to do a rundown. I never captured the rundown of the entire greenhouse. So let me take you inside and show you what we have. Okay, so here is the roof rafters as we did them. This is the roof panels, and we just used the neoprene washered screws on the inside. This is our vent window. It's working. When it warms up in here, it will open due to the beeswax in that tube. That's right there. But I still would not recommend this specific opener. It stinks the way that it's set up. So here's our potting bench. It's just decking boards. They seem to work pretty well. Plus I supported it quite a bit, so I could literally sit on it. This is just a lower bench, so if we need to scrape off dirt or whatever, storage, anything like that, it can be in here. This is just a little thing I built to store the little planter tags and the pots and things like that. Here's our Meyer lemon, just doing great. Look at that. This thing's only a year old, not even a year old. She's already got a couple lemons on it. So these are the shelves, the way we've set them up. And we have planted some stuff. We've started some seeds, and already we have some stuff sprouting. Cucumbers, we have some little tomatoes growing. So the greenhouse is working well for starting seeds. It's chilly outside and no heater on right now. It's 70 degrees in here and 65% humidity. We have been using this heater at night when it gets cold just to make sure that these tomatoes are getting plenty of heat. We do have some heating pads on the tomatoes just to make sure they stay nice and warm. So this I'm not the biggest fan of. I did this for quickness right now. I just ran a wire through the side. Not going to be permanent. What I'm going to do is run some underground wire from the shop over to here. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to put a little outlet in there. So that's how we're going to take care of that, and I'll just get rid of that hole. And then on this side we have this sturdy bench which will easily hold the weight of a bag of soil, anything like that, and we've covered it with hardware cloth so stuff will just fall through the bottom, but it's still nice and strong. I just used staples to hold that down on 2x4s. And yeah, so we use these closet shelving system, and honestly, for being free, man, the stuff works great, and it's the perfect size for this. I think it's 12 inches. Works really good, and if you can hear in the background, I have animals going crazy. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for the inside of the greenhouse. Lauren has used her creative license and decorated and made it pretty in here, of course. So, all in all, this is the Cattywampus window greenhouse. Recycled window greenhouse, antique window greenhouse, whatever you want to call it. This is it. And we're super happy the way it came out. It's not only useful but looks gorgeous, and it's a super nice addition that was well needed to our farm.